morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday video. I'm Marg from Creative Stamping with Marg. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Today we are going to do a fun card with some new paper, and I've got lots of Stampin' Up! News to share with you. So let's get down to my desk. All right. There we go. You can see I've got lots of things on my desk again today, as usual. The paper pumpkin is here. We'll start with that. So this is the newest paper pumpkin that you can subscribe to. Today's May 7th, so you'd have to subscribe before May 10th. It's called Mountain Majesties. It says Celebrate Father's Day, Birthdays, and Beyond. Looks like a beautiful kit. The dies, the add-on dies that you can order also that coordinate with this. The number is 166238. They are $16.50 if you want them. And they coordinate with 3 kits. So the April kit, the May kit, and the June kit. So this is Mountain Majesties. This is the die that will coordinate with that. And then these 2 dies will coordinate with the next one. All right, that's our paper pumpkin. You can see something beautiful on my desk. Our new annual catalog launched yesterday. So now we can look at the inside of it. I have mine all with all its tabs and everything. We can look at the inside of that. And we'll be sharing lots of things in days to come. So this catalog is good for 1 year. All right, so if you don't have one and you don't have a demonstrator and you're in Canada, I would love to earn your business. And I have these catalogs on hand. If you are local to me, you could pick it up, or I could deliver it, or we could get it mailed to you. All right, so there's that. Yesterday, they also launched new online exclusives, and today we will be using some of those online exclusives that they launched that I've been able to play with a little bit ahead of time. They also launched 2 new kits, so in the online store under kits, you will see 2 really beautiful new kits. And the starter special, I should have shown you. It's not in our book, but there is a join special. And I don't know if they even have I don't think they really do. Well, just this graphic here, I guess. Share what you love. So the starter kit special that's running the month of May is you can choose $220 of product, any product in our catalog or the online store, for $135. So you're getting $85 worth of free product. Good deal. And it's anything you choose. There's no GST, there's no shipping. You will get some business supplies included. And if you aren't planning on running a business and you don't want those supplies, you can gift them or to maybe your demonstrator. There is also a free paper pumpkin kit included so that you get a chance to have a look at that. And they just put a random one in, so it's just whatever Stampin' Up! Decides to put in there. I can't tell you which one it is. And by joining, you get a discount, 20% discount on all future orders. So even if you don't want to be a demonstrator and do classes and do all the things, you can still get a discount on all of your products. So it's a really good deal. So that's running all of the month of May. So if you're interested in that and you want more information, please contact me. My information is up here. My email is mrgorn@shaw.ca, and you can go to my Stampin' Up! Website, margaretgorn.stampinup.net, and the information will also be there about joining. Okay, I also, because it's May, a new month, I have a new card kit. So this is a kit to go. It is also a fun fold, as it was last month. And these are the 4 cards that you would be making, all like this. There's 4 of them. And that kit with everything that you see, the only thing I can't do is I can't stamp for you. So you would receive all the paper, all the embellishments, all the die cuts, everything in your kit with envelopes, with 4 envelopes for $15 if you're picking up locally. If I'm mailing it, it would be $20 total for you, the extra $5 for mailing anywhere in Canada. I can't mail out of Canada. You would receive a PDF document that I've printed off in the kit of the instructions to assemble, and I've also made a private video that I would give you the link to so that you can see me make all of these cards. I also include in the PDF what stamp sets I've used so that if you want to use the same sentiments as I did, you would have that opportunity to look them up. Okay, so there's that. Please contact me if you're interested in that, and I can get that shipped to you or ready for a porch pickup. Okay, today we are going to be using, I said, an online exclusive. So this is a new bundle. The bundle is called Impressions Abloom. So this is it here. It also has dies, 25 dies that go with this. Now, mine are right here. Don't have them on a magnetic sheet yet, but there are 25 dies. You can see I've got some washi tape behind these because they're two parts. So I've got them kind of stuck together, and you'll see that when I show you the card we're going to do. Okay, so those are the dies and the stamp set. The paper is called Floral Impressions 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. It is absolutely stunning. I will share it with you here. We are going to use a piece of it today. So there's the piece we're using today. Isn't that pretty? There's this one. All the greenery on that. That's gorgeous. This one. So the colors are, there's a lot of colors in it. Crushed Curry, Darling Duckling, and that is one of our new colors, one of our new in colors, which I'll share with you when we're done looking at this Designer Series paper. Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Peach Pie, and Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. Now, I also see other colors in this paper, and I will share with you some of the other colors. Now, I will turn this over so you can see the other side of it, just like that. So it's very muted patterns. So there's your Fresh Freesia, there's your Pool Party, Old Olive, Garden Green, Strawberry Slush is a new color, and this is Darling Duckling. So I will show you our in colors now. These are 5 new in colors. So this one's called Secret Sea, and it is darker than navy, but a navy. This is Timid Tiger, and I see that in some of this paper that we have. There's Darling Duckling, so that's that one over here. This is Strawberry Slush. It is a returning color. They had it years ago, and now they brought it back. So that's that one there. And this is called Cloud Cover. Now, the bad news about this is you can get all of this cardstock right now, and you can get the ink refills, you can get the blends, you can get the markers. There's gems that are the in colors. However, Cloud Cover ink pad is unavailable. It is because it didn't react well in testing, and they do this, I think they do the testing for two years with these inks. It reacted to the foam pad in our ink pads, so the color isn't consistent, so Stampin' Up! Won't release it because they're not happy with it. So it doesn't look like this is ever going to be released in an ink pad. However, you can get the ink refill, and you can get the uninked spots, which are the little ink pads that come with your paper pumpkins, the little square pads. You can buy uninked ones. You could fill it with the refill, and then you would have the pad. You can't, it just, for whatever reason, it just did not stand up well to their testing. So that's an unfortunate thing. So these 4 colors are available in the regular ink pads, but this one is not. Okay, so we'll put those to the side. I'm going to gather up this paper. So also in this same sort of online exclusives, this is a new embossing folder called Pressed Flowers. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's very pretty. and I am using it today, so we'll get a look at it. All right, so the card we're doing today, I'm calling an angle cut DSP because I just can't think of any other name to call it. It's not a fun fold, but I will share with you my inspiration card that was made a long time ago by a fellow demonstrator in a swap. This was her card. You might recognize some of the products. This is fairly old, all retired, but can you see her DSP in the back? What she's done with it, she's cut it just at angles, just to make it a little more interesting, because it is a continuous pattern, and so sometimes we have a hard time with that because we just don't know what to do with this paper. So that was my inspiration for this card. So the paper I chose from this floral impression paper was this one. And you can see how the pattern is. It's really hard to choose how to cut this one up. So that's what I'm using, and we're going to cut it. I'll show you how we're going to cut it. So that piece is 3 3/8 by 5, and then we're cutting it into 4 strips and putting it on a cardstock layer that is 4 by 5 1/4, and I've chosen garden green today because I think it goes really well with this. And my card base today is peach pie, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, just a traditional card. And the reason I chose that is because I liked how it looked. It pulled these flowers out. Now, having said that, after I cut my card base, I thought, that almost looks like our new timid tiger. So I was thinking, oh, I could have used that color as my card base, but I'd already cut this one, so we're going to go ahead and use it. All right, I've got some flowers. As you can, I said I would show you how these flowers worked with the dies. So these are all the pieces that I've cut using the dies, and they mimic what's in my paper here. So I have all these flowers, and I've put them all together just to save time. I have a white piece of paper. I don't even know how big it is. 1 inch by, and I think I wanted it to go all the way across, 1 inch by 4 1/4. And I've run it through that embossing folder. What I did first is I stamped it using the words from my Impressions A Bloom, I Appreciate You. I stamped it in peach pie, and then I ran it through the embossing folder, but I didn't really like, it's very embossed, so I don't know, the words kind of got lost on me. I think you can see them pretty good here, but I just wasn't happy with it. So what I ended up doing was stamping the words again. I fussy cut them out, and I think I will lay them on top like that. I just think the embossing kind of took away from my stamping, so I wasn't happy with that. So I just wanted to share that with you, just so you know that, you know, maybe it doesn't always work out. Okay, and we have a white piece for the inside that I cut at 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and I just slipped it into the embossing folder just along the edge and just put a little bit of embossing on it there. Okay, so that's going in the inside, and I did bring in something that's on the last chance list. This is the Natural Tones linen thread. There is a garden green in here, so I made myself a bow in case we wanted to use it. So we'll see how that works out. All right. So I think that's all. Oh, I was going to share this with you. My upline always makes these, I don't know what she calls them, cheat sheets of her dies, just so that you get them all cut out and you can have a good look at how they all work. So I did that because there are so many dies and so many ways to use them. So I also did that, and I just wanted to share with you. There's 2 ovals. There's my dies here. There's 2 ovals, as you can see. There's this one that has a stitching on it, and then there's this plain one. So when you cut this one out with the stitching, you get the frame, and then you get the inside. Now that inside is a little bit smaller than this oval. So I'll just show you. I cut it out of white for another project, but there's the frame and there's the inside. That came out of the inside. So this is this one here. This laid on top of this one, it would give you a little bit of a border. Like if you were using, you wanted a color to show behind it, you could do that, I guess. Just, yeah, they're just slightly different size. This is just slightly larger, just for your information. Okay, then when I stamp these, I stamp them in white. hope you can see that. So they stamp, and you can cut out the outline of all of these, the leaves, these 3 flowers, and the centers. Now, the same outline cut out again, but with that piece inside. I'll pull one out so you can see it. See, I've got mine taped together. There's the outside and there's the inside. So that's what they look like. They kind of put stitching on here on all of these, the leaves, the 3 flowers, and the centers. They're very interesting. Then you have all these other dies. The stem, a single stem and a double stem. You've got this, I don't know if it's a leaf or a bloom. When I look at these, this paper, you can see these blooms that are sort of closed. I'm thinking that's what those are. And we are going to use it that way today. And then you get 1 die, but it cuts 2 of these out, the smaller size. There's 2 leaves, and you actually get 6 flowers. There's 2 dies, 3 flowers each, so you get 6. And then the leaf. And you can see, I hope you can see that they have the stitching in them already. They're very, very nice dies. So lots of possibility with these. I'm sure I'm going to have lots of fun with them. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to move all this to the side. Take it off of our viewing area here so you can see what we're doing. And we're going to cut our designer series paper. So I'll bring in my paper trimmer. And the way I did this, I looked at my friends, Linda's, that did this one, the original card, and I just looked at the top here to see. It's a little bigger than 1 inch, and then she went down to a very small amount. So what I did was I just put it in my trimmer, no measuring required. And I'm looking at the inch line there and just making it narrow at the bottom. So just put it in your trimmer. There's no right or wrong for this. And I just cut it. Now, we do want to keep these in order, so be aware of that. Now, for this one, she just cut this one basically straight. And again, she just had a small piece at the top, so I'm just going to cut it like that. That's about 1/2 inch, I think, and I've got it straight at the bottom. I'm going to cut it just like that. Okay, there's that one. And then this one was a bit wider and narrow at the bottom. So I'm going to just cut it like that. So like I said, there's no right or wrong with this. Just gives them some interesting angles. So there we go. That's all I did. That piece of DSP I said was 3 3/8 by 5. So it's the right height to fit onto our 5 1/4 cardstock layer. Okay, so I do want to keep them in order. So I am going to lift them off carefully like that. And that's all the cutting we need to do. I'll get rid of my paper trimmer. So I'm going to attach it to that. I'll get my silicone mat here so that it makes life a little easier. And the way I do things, just to try to keep the border even, I always attach the outer 2, and then you can play with the inner 2. So I always do this and make my borders the way I want them. And then you know that you can dry fit all of this so that it makes you feel like you've got it all kind of going. It gives you an idea how much space you need between them all. But see, that just really gives that a really neat look, doesn't it? By adding it to another, cutting it and adding it to another layer. So I'm going to put them like that. I'm going to take this off of here, and I will start putting my glue on these 2 outer pieces. I am using liquid glue, so I've got a little bit of room, wiggle room if I don't get them quite straight. Okay, so liquid glue, you could use your seal here or your glue runner. It also works, but I'm just going to put the glue on both of these pieces. This is a brand new glue, so hopefully I don't have too much trouble getting it to flow today. Okay, I'm going to bring this green piece in, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put my piece on here. I'm looking at the top and the bottom and the side, the left side, Make sure that I've got it going nice and straight. This one, same thing. You're looking at the bottom, the side, and the top, and you can, whoopsies, I was going to say you can slide it up a little bit. That slid up just a bit too much for me, but thankfully with liquid glue we can pull it off, and I can try that again. Just want to make sure I'm not too close to the bottom. There we go. All right, so our next two pieces, turn them over and get our glue on there. Like I said, this is a brand new glue, and it's gooshing out here in places. Not being very steady with this. All right, there we go. So this one should go. Now you see I've got to play with them because I've got to make sure I've got them going the right way. This one goes here. And I'm not going to press it down just yet because I want to make sure that I'm leaving the right amount of space between the two. And you see I didn't leave enough space, I don't think. So I will readjust that one over, and this one over a little bit more. There we go. Oh, a lot of glue on that one. I can clean that up at the end. Oops, this is moving on me. Sorry about that. Come on. Oh boy. There we go. Now you see I've got it too high this time. Beauty of liquid glue. You can't do this if you use glue runner. It just, once you have glue runner on it and you put it down, it's pretty much down. Okay. All right. There we go. So doesn't that look neat? I really like the way that looks. Just gives it a really interesting visual. Now, my card base is here. Peach pie, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I will burnish that fold to make sure it's nice and firm. I am not putting any ribbon or anything. If I was using ribbon, I might want to attach it now before I put this down. I'm going to put this right down onto the front of my card. Just like that. And again, I'm going to center it, top, bottom, side to side, and get it down as straight as I can. There we go. All right. I think I'll go ahead and put the inside in, and then we'll decorate the front. Now my inside, I didn't do any stamping. The front says, "I appreciate you." There is a thanks stamp in this set, but I am just going to just leave it the way it is. I am putting a little bit more glue along the bottom where that embossing is, just to make sure that it lays flat. And this white piece is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. There we go. Just really like that embossing. I think that just really finishes it off. That just looks so pretty in there. Okay, and I also have an extra flower that we might attach inside when we're done. We'll just see how I like the flowers on the front here. All right, so my thought was that I would just lay this right down flat across my card, and it goes all the way from side to side. And I think I do want it fairly low. And then I thought I'd put this up on dimensionals, the words, and then I was going to just tuck all of this behind here. I just hope it's not too busy on the background. I had thought that I could use this white oval and put all of this on here, but then I'm going to put that on and you're going to lose a lot of your background flowers that are so pretty. So I kind of hate to do that, but I even thought maybe I could put half of it on. Yeah, I just don't know I want to do that or not. I could slice this in half and I could just place all of these on the white, I thought, and then I would have this across the bottom of it. What do you think? Just don't know, because I just don't want to cover all that up. But I had laid this all out prior to the video just to see what I liked. And I had all of this laid here and it looked quite nice. So I'm just going to show you what I had in mind. So there's this stem. Oh, I should share this with you. What I did here. I cut the green, garden green stem and I put it on adhesive sheets. That was something I was going to talk about today. If you aren't familiar with adhesive sheets, they are so handy for these really delicate die cuts. So they come in a package like this. There's 12 sheets. They are 6 by 12. They will last you forever. And you just use them like a sticker. You just attach them to the back of your paper. I have a whole envelope of pieces that have adhesive sheets on the back. Sorry for the crinkle. And I just keep them because you can see there's where I cut the stem from, but I still have all that adhesive sheet. So I'm keeping it for another time. But so you just lay your die down, you attach the sheet to the back, lay your die down, cut it out, and now that becomes a sticker and you don't have to worry about putting glue on it because it's so delicate. So I've just peeled the sticker back enough to put those 2 flowers under the little green part there. So what I thought was I would put that down with the greenery, maybe like that. And then I have all these flowers cut and I thought I might put them on. I just sort of dug a whole bunch of them out like that. And then I thought the white going along the bottom here somewhere and this on top. So I just hope that doesn't look too busy. It is busy, but I'm thinking I don't want to cover up. I didn't want to use this because it just covers up that paper and I just didn't want to do that. So I'm going to go with my initial thoughts and just place them all down there. So what I'm going to start with is this one. So I'm just very carefully peeling back the adhesive sheet. Like I say, it's just like a sticker. So you just peel it off and that paper gets thrown away. And then this will stick down. Now the flowers aren't stuck. There's no glue behind the flowers. So I will put a little bit of glue behind the flowers just to hold them to our page. And you have to be careful because these dies do have like cuts in them. So that glue might show through. So you need to be a little bit cautious of that. So I'm going to put that way up there like that. And it can overhang my border a little bit. That looks good. And then I think I will just put the greenery. And I'm not going to put any glue behind all the leaves. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the stem here at the bottom because I want to tuck some of these flowers, I think. I want to tuck them in here. So I'm just going to put it like that. Then I've got to decide. I'm going to put this down to cover the stems, I think. And it's just going to be laying flat like that. And like I said, I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. So if I lay it like that and I tuck these flowers in here. So this is a fresh freesia flower. This is the new strawberry slush. And I just thought I could just tuck them in here. And then I thought this is the peach pie. I thought I could put it kind of like that. And this on top. I think that looks good. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to put a little bit of glue behind. These have a nice center, flat center area where you can just put the glue there. So I'm going to tuck them in where these leaves are. Just make them a little interesting because they're just tucked behind the leaves. Okay. And I also cut an extra one of those strawberry slush ones, and I thought it could go on the inside, so we'll look at that after. So for this, I think I will go ahead and put this on. This is a very, makes very deep indentations, this embossing folder. So I maybe should have done that on thick white, That might be note to self the next time that I make this kind of a greeting on this, because it's kind of flimsy, but I think once I get it laid down, it'll be okay. And I'm just looking at my grid paper where I'm laying this so that it's straight. I put my card straight on the grid paper, and then I'm using the grid paper to line that up. And I'm going to get some mini glue dots. I think I have them here somewhere. Yep, underneath everything I have on my desk. I can't find them now. Okay, I've got more over here. Don't see what I did with them, but that's okay. I've got more. So I'm just going to put some mini glue dots. They just fit on my little greeting here. So I'll just space them out a little bit. Maybe 4 would be good, just to give this a little bit. I just didn't like the way it looked. I think you can see it. It looks good on the camera, the stamp there, but I don't know. I just wasn't happy with it when I did it. So I thought, well, if I cut this out, it stands out a bit better. Now I could have used garden green ink, and maybe that would have been even better. So you're just going to pull your backs off of your dimensionals, and then I'm going to lay this right on top of the printing that was there. So I'm covering it up. Now it really stands out. So I like the look of that. And being that nothing else is on dimensionals, I think this looks pretty good. Okay, and then I did cut that twine. I did a double bow, and I thought that could go there. It could go here, around our stems. It could go underneath here, like that. It could go underneath here, like that. Kind of like it over here. I think I'll use a glue dot. I'll get my take your pick tool, and I'll get a glue dot. Oh, and I forgot this guy. Sorry, I forgot that guy. Now this one I will put up on a dimensional, I think. This larger flower, because it's going to be kind of on top of our label. So I'm going to do it like that. And I thought I might find the short side there and do it just like that. Okay, now maybe that should be under there, like that. So I will get a glue dot. I've got glue all over my fingers here, so everything's sticking to me. Get a glue dot here. What I can do is just stick my bow right on the glue dot, like that, and then take it off, like that. Okay, and we can tuck this. I know what I want to do with this now. Do I want to put it there? Just like that. So like I said, that twine is a 3-pack, and it is on the last chance list. I did check to see it was still available, and it is. So there we go. I don't have any gems, or I didn't pull any gems to put on it. I probably have something, but I think I'm just going to leave it like it is for now. And if I come up with something, I will share the picture with you, the final picture. I was going to put this other strawberry slush flower in here, and I thought, you know, I could just stick it down like that, and it just kind of decorates the inside of your card. So that looks great. I'm really happy with that. All right, so there's our card finished. It is quite busy, but I think it's very nice. Just giving you an idea what to do with this kind of paper that's got a lot going on. It's kind of hard to chop it and use it, but there we go. Let's clear this out of the way. So there's my inspiration card from Linda, and there's the card we made today. I did make another one out of retired product to show you. This was the Daisy set. So there again is another piece of paper that just is kind of plain in itself when you use it. And then I just added some daisies, and I used the copper clay, one of our retiring colors. Oh, you can see another embossing folder in here. It's called the Mini Corrugated. That's a new one. That's in the catalog, and there it is there. And there's the piece of the embossing right there. All right, so those are the cards for today and my inspiration card. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope everybody gets a chance to look at the online exclusives, the last chance list, the new catalog, the new kits. So lots to see, lots to look at. All right. Hope everybody has a good week.